hit the space bar on the demo, on the email, heard her verse, and I was like, we're done here. Let's all pack it up and go home because we made a banger. That was how I felt.
Hi guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne with a special Roxanne news update as I recently had the chance to chat over Zoom with Grandson. He has just released his new single Rain featuring Jessie Reyez, which is taken from the soundtrack of the upcoming new superhero movie, The Suicide Squad. We talk about putting this track together, working directly with the director James Gunn on this project, and what he's got coming up in the future, including some co-writes with One OK Rock. Really exciting stuff in this conversation, so let's just get right to it, shall we? Here, talking all things Rain, is Grandson. Let's start with this track. It is called Rain, brand new music from you. Talk to me. When did this begin? When did this sort of come together for you?
Well, it was one of the few highlights of being trapped indoors for so long. The story really begins with being hit up by Sam Harris from X Ambassadors, who is a songwriter I had looked up to for a long time. He had asked me to work on an idea that he had begun at the beginning of the pandemic called Zen, which was a song just about all the different ways that we are slowly losing our grip on reality and how badly we all just needed a moment of peace. So he got me on that song. I got my good friend Christine K-Flay to get involved as well with Sam. And so three of us put out a song. We never meet in person during the whole process. It's all virtual on Zoom, you know, the whole thing. Anyways, I'm on Twitter one day and I get a notification from James Gunn, who is the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. He wrote the live action Scooby-Doo cult classic. And he had just tweeted his support for that song. And if I've learned anything in the pandemic, it's that I can't be scared to fall flat on my face, and that community in music is everything. I think when I first came into music, I was very delicate with who I put myself out there for. I was much more careful with the favors that I'm asking, and I should really do this right. As soon as I saw James Gunn tweet the song, I just shot him a DM. I just went down in the DMs, I slid in, and I said, I'm a huge, huge fan. I would love to work with you in any way, shape, or form. My goal with it was I wanted him to maybe direct a music video, and he had the time. That was as far as the collaboration could possibly go in my mind. And we ended up making something way, way bigger than that. So I started sending demos along to him, getting his reaction on things. He used my song Oh No in one of the earliest trailers for the movie. And then I was asked to make something original for The Suicide Squad. And it was like a dream come true.
Man, it's so exciting. So with Rain specifically then, was this like, did you have some early musical ideas there in mind already? Or was this like, I need to write a Suicide Squad song? What was the inspo there?
I've always been really interested in movie music. I love writing very cinematic, epic feeling kind of ballads and fast-paced music. Some of my favorite songs from like big movie opportunities include Rage Against the Machine at the end of The Matrix, Seal, Kiss from a Rose, Batman Begins, or whatever movie that was. I've always as
Batman Forever. Just got correct on that one.
Incorrect.
Sorry, let's get our Seal correct, shall we?
Some of my earliest musical memories are film memories, you know, so it was always something I had in my back pocket as I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. And initially I had gotten asked to make something in the same vein as Oh No, upbeat, mosh pit, energetic. And at a certain point I was like, you know what, we already have that. He loves this other song I've already made. Why am I trying to sell him on a different version of a song that he likes? So that was when I started deciding, let me take a complete left turn here. It could have gone disastrous. I could have sent him the initial idea for Rain and have him never respond, but he was surprisingly really, really on board with it. And here we are. And then I got to use it as an opportunity to bring in an artist I've looked up to for years now, Jessie Reyez, who I really think is one of the most underrated writers in alternative pop, personally.
Yeah, that's exciting. I was going to say, when did Jessie kind of come into the process? Did you always have it in mind that you wanted another vocalist on there? Was it just Jessie specifically like, yeah, let's
Yes,
get her on
I
there?
had written the song and sang both verses in the initial version, but I always knew that it was going to be a duet. And so we had a couple artists on the vision board, and Jessie was like at the top of the list. We had some collaborators in the past who had spoken one another's praises. So we like kind of knew about one another. We both come from the city of Toronto, and you can hear that in our music. And so yeah, she actually already had a song. James Gunn was a big fan of hers, unbeknownst to me. So it was an easy sell. I just asked her to be a part of it. She co-wrote it with me, finished the song, added her verse, and I was right here in this room. Hit the space bar on the demo, on the email, heard her verse, and I was like, "We're done here. Let's all pack it up and go home," because we made a banger. That was how I felt at the time.
It fit well, man. It fit
Really
very,
how it
very
felt.
well. Really, really nice collab there. And talk to me a little bit more about working with James specifically, because, you know, he's someone I've always admired as well with his work. And you particularly look at something like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a man who really understands that integration of music and film. And like down to even, I know he writes specific songs into the script. Like he really, really thinks about that stuff. Must have been a great collaborator to have on something like this.
Absolutely. I love really deliberate artists, and he's one of them. Like I don't when you see the deliberate choices in how people are dressed in the movie, the way that you get from one scene to another, the dialogue feeling relatable, the social commentary built into this story that takes place in a whole different universe. There's something really interesting about artists that do that, and it's always reflected in the work. I try to make the music that I'm writing, the decisions I make in the production, and everything about it. I'm trying to be deliberate, and whether you feel that on the surface level or subconsciously, I really do believe my favorite artists are that deliberate. So being able to work with him and shoot ideas back and forth felt like a fever dream. It was all very surreal. I thought I was on drugs or something, just going back and forth with him on different ideas and having him send an advanced copy of the movie was really cool.
Yeah, man. No, I can imagine. It must make it very, very easy to actually be able to relate. Because, you know, oftentimes the way these things work, not to burst anyone's bubble out there, but sometimes you don't get to see a lot of the material when you're actually working on it. It's just the way it sometimes works. But it sounds like you actually did get to see a lot of what he's been working on in the film and actually get to really get a different perspective on it.
I was really brought in an organic way.
That's
And
great.
to be 100% honest with you and with everybody watching, like an artist at my size often doesn't have the leverage to be able to be this involved in the process. This was clearly not a decision of let's get the biggest artist in the world to make a commercial, promotional piece for this movie. He really did just love the work that I've done in the past, and he was the one calling the shots on what's in the soundtrack, and he just brought two artists that he loved together, and I'm beyond grateful for that.
No, it's exciting, man. Was this a world that you've particularly been engrossed in before, the kind of comic book movie world, all that kind of stuff? Is that one of your interests as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I love being able to, it's absolutely at a time like 2021, like the luxury of being able to escape somewhere is really hard to come by, I think. And it's a testament. Look at how successful these movies, these franchises, big blockbusters have been around the world in giving people a place to go. And especially with James Gunn and the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, they're often very tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic. And so I thought it was really a special opportunity. And, for them to take a song like Rain, which is really a song about mental health, it's a song about going through hard things and digging through those hard things to find what they'll teach you at the end of them. And I'm very grateful that in having this collaboration with the film, we're able to disseminate that message to millions and millions of people. And that's always been what my work is about. There's not a single song that I put out that doesn't have some sort of meaning behind it, whether to do with mental health or society at large. This is a song about going through difficult times like we've been through in the past year and finding meaning in them, you know, taking the storm clouds and watching them create roses from that. So it's really an exciting time for me having this song just come out and having the reaction been so overwhelming so far.
Yeah, it's what I like about you, man. You always take these opportunities and you manage to tie it into those messages you've been spreading since the beginning, man. It's always really nice to see you do it.
I'm going to die someday. I'm not going to be here. All I will have to show for my life is the work that I did and the impact it made on people. So everything I do is through that lens of I'm not going to be here one day, but the messages in my music will be, you know, the songs of mine that have touched somebody and inspired them to take on hard things in their life. That is what will continue and be my legacy. So the fact that somebody like James Gunn is willing to, and the DC universe embrace me and embrace that message, it shows that anybody can be a superhero. It's really cool.
Well, and you've kind of been hinting at it. I've seen a little bit. I'm not sure how much you're allowed to say, but I'm going to press you on it a bit. More to come? Sounds like there might be some more to come in there.
So much more. I've lost my mind in the pandemic in the best way. I've been writing a lot. My album just dropped a couple months ago, but
congrats again on
more
that.
Music in thank you very much. We have more music coming from the world of Death of an Optimist, which is my debut album. I've written a whole bunch of songs with and for other artists in the alternative space. I've co-written like big songs with artists ranging from One OK Rock to Upsalt to, there's a whole lot of music coming that I'm either putting out or a part of, and it's kept me sane during the pandemic. I haven't been able to travel as much, but my mind is expanding and my creativity feels like as sharp as it's ever been. So I'm stoked for the rest of the year.
That's a good way to be, man. That's a really good way to be, keeping yourself creative in that way. And I have to ask, and again, I'm not sure how much you're allowed to say, but you've got to tell me a little bit about working with One OK Rock. You know they're one of our rock sound favorites, man. Absolutely love that band, love Taco. How was that working experience?
Working with Taco was it was like, again, when you work with people that are just at the top of their craft, it really is surreal. Like he had a documentary crew with him filming the behind the scenes for the album. He's got people running around. He's playing 3 different instruments, talking 2 different languages, and still just sharp. It was really fun to work together and to navigate working with somebody who is coming from a different background, coming from speaking a different language. Songwriting becomes something that's happening on like a molecular level. We're not just talking about the messages behind the music. It's actually the syllables and how they fit together, and wrapping our heads around the different dialects that we both speak was really, really exciting for me, because it's a skill that I want to continue to develop as I continue to write songs for a global audience. So being able to think critically about how does this relate outside of America, outside of the UK, was really fun. And again, we just had a good time, wrote a couple songs, and yeah. So hopefully those will come out soon, but you'll have to bug him for that. That's not me.
And I will bug him about that and find out what's going on. Rain is available on all streaming services now, and The Suicide Squad is set for release over here in the UK on July 30th. I've been James Wilson Taylor. We will see you again very soon for another Rock Sound News Update.